Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today we are taking a fascinating journey straight into the hidden biological economy of your own body. Seriously, have you ever stopped to wonder how the human body survives and actually thrives when absolutely no food is coming in? Well, we're going to unravel the great mystery of fasting blood sugar. And as you'll see, your body essentially operates like a highly intelligent central bank. It is incredible. So let's dive right in. We have to kick things off with a central mystery, one that kind of forces us to rethink everything we know. Picture this. Imagine someone fasts for 10 whole days, right? Absolutely no food, not even a crumb, enters their system. Does their blood sugar just drop to zero? Just think about the pure logic of that for a second. Simple math would definitely suggest that zero food coming in equals zero sugar in the blood. Well, the short answer? No, it absolutely never disappears. Which brings us to our core mystery for today. If there is literally no external source of food coming into the body, where in the world is this continuous supply of sugar actually coming from? Okay, let's look at the timeline. During the very first 6 hours of a fast, your body leans on a quick emergency plan. It breaks down glycogen, which, is simply the sugar your liver thoughtfully stored up in advance. But once you cross that 6-hour mark, that's when the real biological magic happens. The body abandons this depleted storage and completely boots up a highly evolved emergency manufacturing protocol from scratch, purely to keep you alive. The crucial biological mechanism behind this is called gluconeogenesis. Now, I know that's a big science word, but put simply, this is just the creation of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. When there are no carbs around, your liver doesn't just throw its hands up and shut down. Instead, it radically transforms into a highly advanced internal recycling plant. It becomes an incredibly active factory, aggressively gathering up biological waste and completely re-engineering it into brand new energy. So you might be wondering, where exactly are the raw materials for this internal factory coming from? Well, there are three main biological sources. Light physical effort produces something called pyruvic acid. Heavy, intense effort produces lactic acid. And the actual process of burning fat, that releases glycerin. The really brilliant part here is that all these different pathways and all these random byproducts ultimately stream into one perfect result, the continuous, steady production of pure, fresh glucose. And let me tell you, this internal factory runs around the clock, nonstop. Whether you're doing something incredibly light, like literally just moving your eyes left and right, which generates pyruvic acid, or engaging in heavy exertion, like lifting heavy weights and pumping out lactic acid, your muscles are continuously creating waste. So the raw materials to fuel this incredible system, they are always available. Now, this is where the absolute genius of the system really shines. If these powerful acids were left to just pull up and accumulate in your blood, it would trigger a fatal toxicity, like extreme acidity. Obviously, we don't want that. Instead, the liver launches what is basically an action movie rescue mission. It rapidly catches all this acidic waste and instantly upcycles it into fresh sugar to send right back to the muscles. It is a completely perfect closed-loop system, saving your body from toxic buildup while literally creating energy out of thin air. To really grasp the sheer scale of this operation, let's look at a pretty massive statistic. A staggering 75% of the sugar in your blood during a fast is produced entirely by the liver through this closed loop. Think about that. 3/4 of your body's energy isn't coming from leftover food. It is 100% self-generated. This incredible metric proves just how insanely powerful and independent this internal economy becomes when you're fasting. Section 1. The chemical roadblock, disrupting the factory. So what happens when this perfect system gets interrupted? When certain medications are introduced, specifically a drug like metformin, this precise chain gets completely broken. First, the drug completely blocks the liver's natural ability to convert that lactic acid into glucose. Because of that, in step 2, the lactic acid rapidly builds up in the blood because, well, it no longer has a drainage route. This leads directly to step 3, severe fatigue, tingling, and rapid muscle cramps, especially if you're exercising. The body's natural pathway for recycling has essentially been entirely walled off. Section 2. The body's central bank. A paradigm shift. Imagine someone is fasting. They check their blood sugar and they see a really high reading, say 350. They aren't looking at hidden food from last week. They are looking at a very deliberate internal reaction. Which brings us to this brilliant insight. Blood glucose is like the dollar in the central bank. During times of crisis or an insulin shortage, the liver acts exactly like a central bank, just printing massive amounts of currency. The body manufactures it every single day, whether you actively need it right that second or not, just to be perpetually prepared. This analogy completely shifts the paradigm, doesn't it? Glucose is not some toxic invader that we need to be terrified of. It is a highly valuable internal currency, automatically printed by your system to keep your vital functions running smoothly. We absolutely have to stop treating it as an inherent enemy. And if you want hard proof of exactly how much the body values this currency, just look at the kidney's retention threshold, 180 milligrams per deciliter. If your blood sugar drops below 180, your system hoards that glucose, literally clutching onto it like pure gold. The kidneys will absolutely not excrete it unless it crosses that strict upper limit. Retaining this currency is without a doubt one of the body's highest biological priorities. So what does this all mean for us? Well, glucose is the ultimate energy currency. It's fundamentally essential for running the body and even cleansing it of toxins. Because of this critical importance, and because your body is so deeply programmed to manufacture this currency every single day, healing complex issues like insulin resistance, that doesn't just happen overnight. It can literally take years to properly reset this brilliant internal factory. It requires true, sustained patience, not just anxiously watching numbers on a monitor. Remember, you are actively rewiring a highly dedicated, highly committed biological economy. Which leaves us with one really powerful question to think about. If glucose is our most vital resource and our most precious internal currency, how can we support this brilliant internal economy rather than constantly fighting it? That is the real challenge here. It requires a total rethinking of our biology, figuring out how to work alongside the body's central bank to build lasting wealth in our health, rather than fighting a never-ending war against our own highly evolved machinery. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this gives you a whole new perspective on your incredible body.